if I told you that SpongeBob did a better job of telling kids to not do drugs than your average PSA in America?
Doing drugs is like being on top of the world. Everyone says so. Everyone seems to be having one. Hey, it's part of growing up.
Now, that's only if I told you. It's better if I showed you.
I'm trying to set little goals for myself. Like, in a couple months, I'll beat my record for being sober.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's something to aim for. But then, after that...
After that, you'll beat your record again. Every day, you'll set a new record.
Sure, but it's easy now, in jail. I don't have to make any choices for myself. I worry about what's gonna happen when I get out. What if I relapse again?
Then you'll get sober again. So, that's what I'm talking about. It's like the song says. You do the hokey pokey, and you turn yourself around. You turn yourself around. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I don't know if the songwriters put that much thought into the existential significance of the lyric.
But isn't the point of art less what people put into it and more what people get out of it?
Is that the point of art?
Maybe. Or maybe art doesn't need a point. Maybe that's why it's called art.
This is a pretty big claim. I'm basically saying that most of the PSAs in America failed to direct its target audience, mostly kids, to not do drugs. And yeah, we're mostly going to be talking about drug PSAs.
So Sarah, what's going on here? Sarah?
She won't answer you. Or she can't. This is the way it's been since she started smoking.
For starters, PSA stands for Public Service Announcement. These were short messages, broadcast, or video commissioned by a government agency or non-profit organizations in order to raise awareness about an issue of a public interest. You know that one dog commercial where it goes, "In the arms of an angel"? Yeah, that's a PSA. Man, are those dogs okay? Can anyone get a check on them? Another PSA you might have seen is, "We are not candy."
Hey, what are we doing out of the bottle? This is dangerous. A little kid might come along and think we were candy. That would be awful because we're medicine. He might even eat us. No, 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 no. This is serious.
It's these little blue puppets that sing about how dangerous they are and you should not eat them or leave them around your kids. You might also have known that PSA from an artist that loves old 90s art forms and incorporated it into their own style, Jack Starber. I just wanted to briefly mention him because his art style is so uncanny and related to old commercials and PSAs that you wonder, how did he perfect it? When I first saw the PSA, I was like, I thought Jack Starber made this. He didn't. Anyways, back to the point. Some of them had pretty reasonable acting and reason, showing some human effort in them. But even so, that doesn't help that it stemmed from a bad place, where racism and classism grew. But before I get into how bad PSAs really were, let's talk about SpongeBob and how that was a better learning tool than any government broadcasted bullshit. Check it. If you have been sticking around this channel long enough, thank you. Or if you just got here, please subscribe. I have been using cartoons as also PSAs to help people better themselves and learn new lessons when it comes to having new perspectives on new topics. Now, most of the cartoons that I use are SpongeBob related. What can I say? I love the little guy.
Look at me, I'm naked!
And he has so much to offer too. Not only him, but all of the cast. Each episode has a little learning device just waiting to be discovered and talked about more and more. While I can say that for the latter half of the seasons, SpongeBob became more goofier in the former season. I still hear mixed reviews to this day, people saying it's good as the old ones or it's bad because it's trying too hard. Which personally myself, I haven't seen any of the new ones, but if you would like me to do a video comparing two seasons, I would happily do so. With that being said, we need to compare PSAs to a SpongeBob episode. And what better episode to pick than Season 1, Episode 20A, Hooky. Now, I would like to clarify that I'm not the only person who thought of this idea that Hooky was a PSA about drugs, but I did come to the realization of it by myself. I have proof that, surprisingly, on November 28th, 2024, I wrote a list of SpongeBob videos I was gonna do. The last was this video. But with that, people have been making comparisons way back since the episode started. Here, on r/BikiniBottom Twitter, funny name, user Skylander Kirby made a post saying, "How old were you when you have realized this episode was about drugs?" It garnished about 17,000 upvotes, and with comments agreeing with the user. Even one user makes a good argument saying it's about addiction, not drugs, which I beg to differ because the language they used was pretty spot on with being addicted to drugs. I think it's high time we start talking about the episode so we can make comparisons and actually discuss the big bad PSAs that hurt people more than they help. We first need to talk about the title card. I don't think I do this much in my SpongeBob videos, but I love the attention to detail here. It might be small, but all of the letters are on hooks, while also having pointy holes at the bottom, suggesting that the hooks entered and did some damage. Also, having a bunch of hooks around you feel dangerous, like one of them might clip into you. And as I just stated for the letters, I feel like it will do some pretty horrible damage if that ever happened. Just like any other episodes, they briefly mention something important and pass by it like nothing just happened. The narrators just said,
"Fishermen have quite an effect on our undersea friends."
Bro just made canon that people of the Bikini Bottom die to fishermen. Well, not confirmed dead, but still. Mr. Krabs runs in screaming about,
"They're back! They're back, I tell you! I saw it with my own eyes!"
No one, and I mean no one, absolutely cares about what Mr. Krabs is spouting. Even Squidward puts on his earbuds. The only one who listens is SpongeBob. Of course, with no hesitation, Mr. Krabs gives the rundown on the hooks.
Hooks, they dangle down and draw you close with their pleasing shapes and their beguiling colors. And just when you think you've found the land of milk and honey, they grab you by the britches and haul you way up high.
Now, SpongeBob getting this earful of how dangerous the hooks are, it sent him away scared. I mean, bro was shaking, crying, and throwing up. If Mr. Krabs was trying to scare him, it pretty much worked. But at last, Krabs is chill and tells him just to go back to work, and if he heeds his words, nothing will happen to him. Not a moment later, Patrick snatches SpongeBob to head to the carnival.
Guess what? The carnival's in town.
I can't leave now. I'm working.
We're just taking a break.
You know, the way that Patrick and SpongeBob walk to this carnival feels so innocent, like they don't know what they're truly getting themselves into. But when they roll up to the carnival, it's not how it seems. The music in the background even tells a different story from how Patrick is acting.
The carnival is back in town. I'm gonna be first in line for everything.
He even mentions that there was a kid here once earlier.
Where is everybody?
I don't know. There was one kid here earlier.
After walking around a little more, SpongeBob runs into a hook and looks closer. He finally sees that they were the same thing that Mr. Krabs warned him of. Stop right here. It's time to point out some key points that relates to real life that might have caught your eye or subconsciously helped you in real life. We first need to talk about the important people here who have affected the citizens of Bikini Bottom. The fishermen. It's as simple as putting on a name tag. The fisherman represents the drug dealers. Even a play on words, hookup, can literally translate to a fisherman hooking up the fish. But I digress. Now that we know who the dealer is, what is the drug? Well, the hooks. When Mr. Krabs comes in screaming about how dangerous the hooks were, he wasn't talking about the drug dealers, but the hook's effect on the fish, how grueling and damaging it can leave the person, to the point they die or gift shop. So obviously the hook is the choice of drug, while Mr. Krabs is the trusted individual or adult warning the kid, SpongeBob, to not do drugs, while Patrick is either the friend of the kid or not a trusted adult getting SpongeBob into drugs. It's really funny that Patrick uses the word carnival when it's such a bad place. When you go to one, you might get your laughs and amazements here and there, but the amount of animal abuse and shady practices hiding in the dark corners would turn anyone's smile into a frown. It's like drugs in a way. The more you use it, the more you know, the less effective it is, and reality hits. Alright, now we know it's shaping up to be a PSA. We need to continue the story to see how SpongeBob fails to heed his warning. After SpongeBob warns Patrick, bro isn't fazed at all. Then he even sits on a hook, which is crazy work. Can we talk about this? Do I need to censor this? I don't know if I should be scared or impressed. No, I should be scared. SpongeBob keeps warning Patrick about the hook, and Patrick is still not giving a gaff. He's just eating them like crazy until one of them pulls him up.
Lighten up, will ya? Or do I have to eat all this cheese by myself?
But bro just floats down like nothing happened. SpongeBob repeats himself again about what Mr. Krabs said, but Patrick bends his words just a little bit to make SpongeBob comfortable around the hooks.
Mr. Krabs said I shouldn't get near those things.
Did he say you shouldn't climb on top of them and ride them like a horsey?
Well, no, I guess he didn't.
Then we get this dramatic scene where they're riding up on the hook and the fisherman is happy about the big catch. Unfortunately, he was playing in Stardew Valley and lost it. Bro had to take a smoke after that one. We head back to the Krusty Krab and that shit is run down. I mean, it's like watery Sprite. It's not sweet at all without SpongeBob. I don't know how it's even possible, but Squidward's so bad at flipping patties, he cooked a boot. Mr. Krabs gets wind of the chaos outside, so he said, "I'ma go track them down," while also leaving Squidward to the horde. Yeah, he's dead for sure to a hunter or something. Mr. Krabs acting like an absolute dog, sniffing out where they were. They float down back again, ready to do it one more time. And Mr. Krabs sees this happening. Thinking that they are about to die or gift shop, Mr. Krabs tries to stop them, but it's too late. They rode up to the sky again, and Mr. Krab believes that they're gone. Gift shop gone. Sorry, I can't keep making this joke. But like they were doing before, they just float back down, with Mr. Krabs giving them an earful. Patrick tries to justify it by saying,
I'll tell you about the hooks. You ride them up and up and up.
Do you know what happens when you don't float back down? Worse! You end up vacuum packed in a can of tuna.
Damn, getting folded and packed up into a tuna can? Yeah, surely SpongeBob and Patrick will not do it again after listening. They even give a sailor's promise. Also, Mr. Krabs gets hit by a hook and it hurts, which makes me realize that Patrick is either dumb or a freak, or both. After the next morning, SpongeBob starts to go back to work, but Patrick stops him. He even says the title of the show.
We're gonna go play Hooky!
Damn, title drop in a SpongeBob episode? Sick. Patrick proclaims that they could go back using the hooks again because it was fun, and nothing bad ever happened to them while doing so, stating,
That Mr. Krabs is just a big dummy. We played on those hooks all day long, and nothing happened to us. Are you gonna listen to a big dummy, or are you gonna listen to me?
Yeah, that's crazy work. He just called himself a big dummy. Anyways, SpongeBob admits he wants to play with the hooks again, but he promised Mr. Krabs he wouldn't do it. Even with that promise being there, the episode still goes on. He finds a hook. It's tempting at first. He really wants to use it. I mean, play with it. He says no and keeps walking. This is the good ending. Thank you guys for watching. Yeah, y'all know he gave in and played with the hook. vowing to never use it again after this use. Something bad happens though. As SpongeBob tries to walk away, boom, he's been hooked. The first thing he does is go to Mr. Krabs, but at last, there is nothing to do, he says, except get butt naked freaky style. And SpongeBob ain't with that lifestyle. But as the hook keeps hooking him away, he gives in and takes off his pants. It's not enough, and he almost loses his life until his underwear rips off. Although he still have his life, his pride and dignity is like gone. Everyone starts to laugh at him. He gets clowned on so hard he starts running home, crying. PTSD ridden. So, I don't know, maybe getting packed up in a tuna can doesn't sound too bad after all. Or a gift shop. Well, at the end of the day, he realized a very valuable lesson: to not play with hooks. While Squidward and Mr. Krabs laugh about helping the little lad out. And Patrick, oh yeah, his fate was sealed. Literally. Back to the key points. The PSA moment truly shines at the end. But before talking about that, let's talk about how Patrick got SpongeBob literally hooked on drugs. Usually, people wouldn't do something that they're unfamiliar with. They especially wouldn't do it if someone told them not to do it. But with Patrick, he's pretty much a friend, so SpongeBob wouldn't question or bat an eye at all. They have a connection already. And what Patrick did was show SpongeBob the positive side of doing drugs. You get the high, then you basically come down off the high to do it all over again. Even changing Mr. Krabs' wording to make SpongeBob comfortable with doing it. But with every positive has a negative. They never experienced it, so it's most likely they will continue to do it before even realizing the negative side. Again, they were told many times that bad things come from using it, but also at the same time only experience the highs of whatever drug they're taking. This happens in real life, unfortunately. Just imagine a friend said, "Here, take this," and you do it once. Without self-control, it leads to doing it more than once, maybe twice, a third time, until it all blends in together, not realizing how far you lost yourself in the substance. I highly suggest looking at the backstory of a song called "The Master of Puppets" by Metallica. It's in the name itself that Master of Puppets, I'm pulling your strings, is a reference to drugs being the puppet master of you. Anyways, the addiction part comes in after SpongeBob sees the final hook. Just like I said, it happens once, then twice. That's when you get hooked. Literally. The PSA moment is when Krabs tries to help SpongeBob, but he just doesn't listen. He can't do it. The ending is a little convoluted to piece together, but SpongeBob learns his lesson at the end, to not do drugs again, while Patrick hypothetically dies in a tuna can. Better than the gift shop, but it's because he kept using the hooks, aka drugs, and died from the high. There you have it. That was better than a 20-second PSA telling someone to not do drugs, just for them to do it anyways at the end because they were told about it. Now, don't get me wrong, some of these PSAs are actually really good for communities, but at the same time, some of them were just goofy, pushed false information out, and ultimately created fear-mongering among communities. I would like to do a whole video on this, but at last, it would eat up time. Anyways, what do you think about this video? I would love to hear all the comments you guys got to have. Shout out to my artists in my Discord, please join, and maybe you'll see your art here. I love every single one of these guys, they're really active, and they've been very special to me when my channel hasn't been doing the best. So thank you to these people. Do you guys sleep to my SpongeBob videos? Is there any other SpongeBob episodes you want me to cover? All of this can be answered with a single comment. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later.